Greetings, Crestkill community. Dr. Peter Hughes here, your superintendent, and tonight we're going to be discussing the Crestkill K-12 health education standards. Mr. Roth and I will be making this short video to give you an overview of your grade level's curriculum, as well as some things that you need to be made aware of. The purpose of this presentation is really threefold. It's to give you accurate information regarding the new updated New Jersey Student Learning Standards, to provide an overview of the grade level curriculum, and finally to help you decide if you would like to have your child opt out of any of the standards. It is your right as a parent in Crestkill school districts. In fact, when we look back at the history of sex education in New Jersey, it's a right that's existed since the 1980s. That is not changing. If there's ever anything that you're uncomfortable with in the health standards, we can certainly adapt your child's exposure and make sure that you're part of that decision-making process. I also wanted to highlight some changes that have come out in 2018-19, just as an overview. There's been a lot of focus more on sexting, consent, and safe haven included inside of the health standards to make sure that kids have a more contemporary view. Without further delay, I wanted to go into the 4 reasons for the new updated standards, and finally turn you over to Mr. Roth to review the grade level expectations. When New Jersey came together, they really wanted to include 4 items: inclusivity, making sure that the health standards were inclusive of all New Jersey residents, medically accurate, make sure that there's a focus on safety, and finally create open dialogue where kids have safe adults that they can ask questions of. In addition to the parents, but that is a piece of making sure that we have a partnership of support for the kids. Without further delay, here's Mr. Roth.
Hello, 11th grade families. I'd like to take this opportunity to cover with you the units that constitute the experience for our students in 11th grade health in the Crestkill School District. There are 4 grade 11 units in health that all have to do with basically developing the continued path of wellness for our bodies and minds. So the first unit is a unit that is simply titled Personal Health. This is a unit that's focused on having students take prior learning further and actually developing a healthcare plan for themselves that includes practices and strategies designed to support an active lifestyle, to attend to their mental health, which is a continuing district priority, and foster a healthy social and emotional life from a mental health standpoint. Students will also predict how healthy and unhealthy behaviors can affect the brain. They will analyze factors around mental health that can affect family. And they will recognize personal strengths and limitations and design a more individualized plan for themselves based on their base of knowledge to stay healthy. That has a lot to do with learning how to be realistic and accepting of our bodies and ourselves and working to tailor plans that truly work for us, important for all of us. The second unit of study for grade 11 in the course, which by the way is called Self-Care, First Aid, and CPR. That's the title of the course. Unit 2 is focused on nutrition. Students herein will compare and contrast marketing, nutritional trends, and eating habits and their effects on adolescents. They'll determine the relationship between nutrition and physical activity related to a healthy lifestyle. They'll analyze the contributions of each nutrient to one's health, and they will research current trends in plant-based and organic diets and industrial trends that are related to lowering the risk of heart disease, cancer, and diabetes. So in that respect, they will not be advocating or forced into a frame of mind that is advocating for plant-based or organic diets, as much as seeing those as options in an array of them that are designed to lower the risk of more common diseases that do arise here in America. Unit 3 is a unit called Health Conditions, Diseases, and Medicine. In this particular class, or this particular unit rather, students will develop a healthcare plan to help prevent and treat diseases and healthcare conditions. They'll learn about things like the importance of annual physical exams, STI testing if necessary, vaccinations, and what they do. Again, they will not be a class in advocating a position on vaccinations or one that forces the issue. Understanding that those decisions, much like what a student's diet consists of, relative to the prior slide, are decisions that families and students can make in connection with their guardians and their parents. This is just educating on different options that exist. It is not advocating for a position. They will evaluate how drugs and medication can affect the human body, which of course is something they've been educated on throughout their K through 11 at this point health curriculum. They evaluate the benefits of biomedical approaches to prevent things like STIs and HIV, so specifically sexually transmitted infections, how vaccines pertain to that. They'll evaluate new methods to diagnosing and treating diseases and health conditions that are common throughout the U.S. and other countries. So things, unfortunately, like stroke, heart attack, cancer. They'll analyze local, state, and international public health efforts to prevent and control diseases and health conditions. And again, they'll study vaccinations, immunizations, medical exams, how these fit into the realm of more global efforts to prevent and control diseases, and some of the results that have been documented, and they'll weigh that against their own beliefs and their own conclusions, which they'll come to on their own with the help of their families. As well, it'll be discussing evidence of social and emotional impact of mental illness on families and community. And the fourth and the final unit in self-care, first aid, and CPR 11 will simply be a unit that does follow the first aid and CPR curriculum that's in existence at this time, and moving students forward with that knowledge base, again, with the top priority in keeping themselves and others in our community safe at all times.
As students matriculate into high school, this is a time for them to start to learn about adult issues and how to best prepare themselves to lead healthy adult lives. As such, most of the topics at this point are open to discussion in the health curriculum. These topics may be about mental and physical and sexual and emotional health, all aspects of becoming a healthy adult. Serious topics around mental health and sexual health will be discussed at this level to help prepare them to make adult decisions. And students will learn about the legal and emotional consequences of their decisions in areas of online behavior, consent, and how to identify and react to unhealthy relationships. Remember, the goal in high school is to prepare them for adulthood and to make sure that they get the tools that they need to remain healthy for life. Here's a sample of the opt-out form. You'll be given units that you can choose the standards that you're uncomfortable with. In this case, it's an emotional health unit. Now, please be advised that things that are a little bit heavier can come out in high school in terms of emotional health, and some things may be triggering at times. So even though you may want them to talk about emotional health, students can always opt themselves out if they're uncomfortable. So that's an overview of our opt-out process in the high school level. Thank you, and let us know if you have questions. Finally, we will have a parent night on February 15th at 6 p.m. You're welcome to join us. Using this QR code, you can actually ask questions of us ahead of time so that we can be sure to hit them on that night. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.